right. Hi, everyone. How are you today? Thank you so much for those of you who are joining me live or catching the replay later. I really enjoy doing these, and so it's so nice to have you here. I'm pulling up my notes. I always create notes for these because I want to make sure I deliver as much value as I can in this short amount of time that we have together. But thank you so much for joining me today for Reclaiming Control, my essential strategies to recalibrate your nervous system. You'll see me drinking some water today. I'm still getting over a cold, which is taking much longer than I would hope that it would, but here we are. Here's kind of the thing that comes up where someone is telling me that every time they try to move, even if it's just stretching or turning, it feels like they're setting off this painful chain reaction in their body. So if this happens to you, you might find yourself avoiding simple activities like picking up groceries or playing with the kids because you never know when that next wave of pain will hit. And this is so frustrating when even the smallest movements like walking up the stairs or reaching for something on the counter can trigger this sharp, unexpected pain. And you might feel like your body is constantly on high alert, and that really makes it hard to relax and enjoy life's simple pleasures. And if you are tired of feeling like your body is betraying you with every movement, this training today is for you, where it just feels like everything is so sensitive, wires are frayed, that it's unpredictable, unchangeable, and that you just have no control over this. Today, I'm going to share with you how you can reclaim that control and recalibrate your nervous system to overcome body sensitivity and the restricted movement or engagement in activities that often follows. For those of you who don't know me or who have not yet attended these trainings, my name is Dr. Redmond. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I'm also a chronic pain strategist for women. I specialize in helping women navigate and overcome chronic pain, and my mission is always to empower you with the education, the tools, and strategies that you need to transform your pain experience and reclaim your vitality, because there is always so much power that we can have in these situations. And before we get started, if you are considering my Breaking Through Pain program and you're ready to take the next step, I invite you to book a call with me. During this call, we can map out the strategy that will help you regain control over your pain and break fear, flare-ups, body sensitivity, and restricted movement or activities. And I'll put the link I have put the link in the comments, but if you have any questions or you want to see if it's the right fit, my DMs are always open. Please feel free to reach out anytime. If you are struggling with body sensitivity and it feels unchangeable, maybe like it's even getting worse, maybe you believe that your pain and limitations are just something you have to live with, I'm here to tell you that the truth is that this belief is not only limiting you, but it's also inaccurate. So we're going to talk today about how recalibrating your nervous system is crucial and how you can start that today. So a lot of women tell me that their body sensitivity is just a result of their condition, that they don't feel like they can change it, or they tell me, I'm stuck with the sensitivity and pain, there's nothing I can do about it. Let me walk you through a few scenarios. So imagine that you're walking through the grocery store and suddenly out of nowhere, a sharp stabbing pain shoots up your back as you reach for an item on a high shelf. The pain seems to come from the simplest of movements, like bending to pick up a dropped item or turning to grab something behind you. And these incidents happen so often that you feel like your body is just constantly betraying you. And it leaves you to wonder, why is this happening again? What did I do wrong this time? After a few of these experiences, you might start associating everyday tasks with the expectation of pain, or at least our brains can start to do this very naturally. And you begin to avoid reaching for items, bending, making certain movements. Maybe you fear that you'll trigger another flare-up. Over time, women tell me that they start to feel trapped by their body's limitations, convinced that this level of sensitivity is just how things are now. Here's another scenario that I want to describe to you. This is also another common scenario. When you're trying to do something enjoyable, like spending time with family and friends, maybe sitting on the couch, laughing, chatting, but as you shift positions, you feel that deep ache that starts radiating through your hips and your lower back. You try to ignore it, but it's hard to focus on anything other than the discomfort that's creeping in. And so eventually the pain becomes so overwhelming that you excuse yourself, you retreat to a quieter place, and you have to go manage it. And this experience can feel so isolating. And you want to engage with the people that you care about, but your body's unpredictable sensitivity forces you to withdraw. And after years of this, because I talk to women who have been doing this for years and decades, it's easy to believe that your condition has permanently changed your body and that your life will always be restricted by this heightened sensitivity. Many women who live with chronic pain avoid physical activities altogether. They fear the repercussions. Let's say you love yoga or hiking, but you had to give them up because every time you tried to engage in these activities, your muscles tightened up or your joints just ached for days afterward, and it feels like your body is punishing you for even trying. You start to think, if even a gentle stretch or a short walk causes this much pain, maybe I should stop trying to do anything physical. This withdrawal from activity can lead to more deconditioning, and before you know it, you feel like you're stuck in a loop where your body is only becoming more sensitive over time. The belief that nothing will help becomes stronger, and you feel powerless to change your situation. But if I know you, and I think I do, I know that you're determined not to let your pain define you. So you push through, you convince yourself you're strong enough to handle it. You've got a packed schedule, meetings, errands, caring for your family, and you push your body to keep up. But every time you do, you notice that by the end of the day, your muscles are tight, your joints ache, and your sensitivity is off. Or it's off the charts, I should say. And at work, you're a leader, someone others look to for guidance. So when pain or body sensitivity flares up, your instinct is to power through. You stay up late, you sit through meetings, you focus hard despite the discomfort, and you tell yourself, I'm tough, I can handle this. But by the end of the day, the stiffness in your neck, the shooting pain in your back, or the aching in your legs is almost unbearable because you've ignored your body's signals. The pain intensifies, and instead of resting or recalibrating, you force yourself through the next day too. So the constant avoidance of activities on one hand for women leads to more sensitivity and more flare-ups. The constant pushing leads to long periods of burnout where productivity and energy are diminished for days or even weeks, and more sensitivity and more flare-ups. So both extremes are unhelpful. And I know women in the second category where we're pushing through to the point of burnout. We start missing deadlines. We start feeling less present in our meetings. This only feeds that inner critic, making us believe that we're not doing enough, even though we're working harder than ever to keep up. And when I talk to women who have been dealing with chronic pain or a highly sensitive body for an extended period, it often feels as though they're trapped in this unchangeable cycle. Over time, this belief becomes deeply ingrained because every attempt to engage in normal activities seems to trigger a flare-up. So this reinforces the idea that their body is unpredictable and outside of their control. They may have tried multiple treatments, therapies, or medications that only offer temporary relief, and this leads them to conclude that their sensitivity and pain are just the new normal. What if I told you that this belief isn't just disheartening? It's so hard to hear that, but it's also scientifically inaccurate, this idea that body sensitivity is unchangeable. The truth is your body sensitivity is not set in stone. There's actually a key player behind these heightened sensations, and it's called the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is responsible for regulating essential bodily functions: heart rate, digestion, breathing, and our body's response to stress and pain. So think of it as the system that governs whether your body is in a calm, relaxed state or in a state of alert and defense. And when everything is functioning as it should be, the autonomic nervous system helps your body recover from stress and pain. This promotes relaxation and healing. However, when it becomes dysregulated, and this often happens due to chronic stress, trauma, prolonged pain, your body remains stuck in a heightened state of alert, like a car engine that's constantly revving in overdrive. And in this dysregulated state, even minor triggers, things like bending down, reaching overhead, walking upstairs, can send pain signals through your body, magnifying sensations that wouldn't normally cause discomfort. So this is why you might experience overwhelming sensitivity from what feels like ordinary everyday movements. Your body's essentially overreacting to stimuli because it's stuck in a fight or flight mode. It's convinced that it needs to be on guard all the time. But here's what the science says about recalibrating the nervous system. This is so exciting because science shows us that we can reteach and recalibrate our autonomic nervous system. So this means that the heightened sensitivity and overactive pain responses that you've been dealing with aren't permanent. So just as the nervous system learned to stay in this heightened state of alert, it can also learn how to calm down and respond more appropriately. By targeting the autonomic nervous system with evidence-based practices, you can reduce this overreactivity, restore balance, and you can begin to trust your body again, which is so important. So techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, progressive relaxation are scientifically proven to calm the nervous system, shift it out of overdrive, and gradually reduce sensitivity. Over time, this not only decreases the intensity of the pain, but allows you to regain control over your movements and activities. And this frees us up from that constant fear of triggering a flare-up. And so here's what this can look like. Instead of feeling a sharp pain when you reach for something on a shelf, you might notice that the discomfort gradually fades, allowing you to move more freely. Instead of having to sit out on family activities because you're worried about triggering pain, you might find yourself able to join in, knowing your body can handle it. And instead of feeling constantly on edge, you can experience moments of peace where your body feels in sync. And this allows us to focus on what matters without pain interrupting our day. And the shift I'm talking about here isn't about masking pain. It isn't about ignoring it. It's about reteaching our nervous system so that it responds to pain and movement in a more balanced, adaptive way. You don't have to live in a constant state of hypervigilance where every movement feels like a potential risk. And with the right approach, you can start to recalibrate your body's responses and move toward a life where you feel empowered, not restricted. So in addition to helping reduce body sensitivity, recalibrating your nervous system also sets the stage for deep, long-lasting healing. Many women who experience chronic pain and body sensitivity often feel like they're constantly fighting their own bodies. They're endlessly managing symptoms without ever seeing real improvement. But when you start retraining your nervous system, you're not just minimizing pain responses, you're actively priming your body for healing and recovery. So let me talk you through that connection between your autonomic nervous system and healing. The nervous system has two main branches: the sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for that fight or flight stress response, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and digest, the calmer response. And when we're in chronic pain or stress, the sympathetic nervous system often dominates. It keeps the body in a constant state of high alert. And this elevated state not only increases pain sensitivity, but it also interferes with the body's natural healing processes. And in a balanced nervous system, the parasympathetic system plays a critical role in allowing the body to rest, recover, and repair tissues. But when your nervous system is stuck in overdrive, your body doesn't get the chance to tap into these restorative processes. And this means that not only are you more sensitive to pain, but your body is also unable to heal as effectively as it should. So we want to prime our nervous system for healing. So when you recalibrate your nervous system, you're doing much more than calming pain signals. You're re-engaging the parasympathetic or calming part of your nervous system to shift your body out of survival mode into a state where it can focus on restoration and recovery. And so here's how this works. We reduce inflammation, which can worsen pain. By calming the nervous system, you reduce inflammation, allowing your body to repair itself more efficiently. We improve immune function. When we restore balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic system, it helps boost our immune response, which aids in recovery. And tissue repair and muscle relaxation are important here too. When you're in a heightened state of stress, muscles tense up and blood flow to key areas can be reduced, and this slows healing in our body. And by calming the nervous system, muscle tension decreases and blood flow is directed where it's needed the most, helping your body repair tissues more effectively. So when we engage in practices that recalibrate our nervous system, like deep breathing, mindfulness, and relaxation exercises, you're helping your body create a healing-friendly environment. So this is an environment where your muscles are more relaxed. This allows for less pain and tension in daily movements. Your immune system functions more optimally. It helps your body deal with underlying issues that might be contributing to chronic pain. Your body's less inflamed, which reduces the overall pain experience. And your body's repair mechanisms are activated. It allows tissues, muscles, and nerves to heal more quickly. So when you think about managing your pain and sensitivity, it's not just about minimizing discomfort. You're actively creating a physiological state where healing can take place. And by training and reteaching your nervous system to get back to that baseline of calm and balanced more quickly, you're not only regaining control over your pain responses, but you're also nurturing your body's innate capacity to heal and recover. So this helps you experience more long-term relief. This isn't a quick fix, though. It's a long-term solution. So it's important to understand that this process of recalibrating the nervous system is not a one-time solution. We're building resilience over time. We're reteaching our body's responses and gradually reinforcing the parasympathetic system's dominance to foster healing. So what do I do instead? This is what I teach my clients. This is what I arm them with. I call it mind body wisdom at the beginning of our work together. And it's based on the principles of psychophysiology and an understanding of the mind body connection. Our nervous system, particularly that autonomic nervous system, plays a significant role in how we respond to pain, stress, and sensations. And when we encounter chronic pain, our system gets stuck in that heightened state of alertness that I described, that fight or flight response. This is our body's natural reaction to perceived danger. It was originally designed to protect us from threats. But for many of us dealing with chronic pain, the system becomes overactive. Our bodies become more sensitive. Our brain begins to perceive everyday sensations as threats, which amplifies pain and sensitivity, even in the absence of real danger or damage. This leads to, again, those small movements or slight discomforts being interpreted as threats by our nervous system. And this is where mind-body wisdom comes in. It becomes so critical because rather than feeling like your body's sensitivity is unchangeable, you can start using evidence-based techniques to recalibrate your nervous system and shift it out of that constant state of hyperarousal. By training your body and mind to move away from the fight or flight response and toward a rest and digest state or calmer state, you not only reduce pain and sensitivity, but as I said, we're priming our body for healing. So 3 powerful strategies that can help you regain control. The first might sound really, common sense and ridiculous, but it's one of the most effective techniques for doing this quickly that people can use formally or informally at different times throughout their day. And so I always bring it up. Deep breathing exercises. Deep controlled breathing helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for calming our body's overactive responses. Deep diaphragmatic breathing encourages us to breathe deeply into our belly, stimulating the vagus nerve, which is a key player in reducing that fight or flight response. And by doing so, you send signals to your brain that you are safe. It helps to calm down your body's heightened sensitivity. The second exercise is progressive muscle relaxation. When we are stuck in fight or flight mode, our muscles tend to stay tense and rigid, as if constantly bracing for danger. Progressive muscle relaxation involves tensing and then relaxing each muscle group one by one to release stored tension. This not only physically relaxes your body, but it also sends signals to your brain that the threat has passed. Over time, this method helps to lower overall body sensitivity and retrains your nervous system to become less active. Finally, somatic tracking and body scans. These techniques teach you to observe sensations in your body without judgment or fear. So when we constantly label pain or discomfort as a threat, we reinforce the fight or flight response. But by becoming more aware of what you're feeling, whether it's a twinge, ache, or tension, without reacting emotionally, you can begin to train your nervous system to be less reactive over time, creating more space for healing by breaking that connection between sensation and panic. This gives you more control. So these strategies not only help you manage pain and sensitivity, but it also taps into that mind-body connection and allows us to shift our nervous system, something we don't realize that we can actually have so much control over. And within this, you're creating long-term changes in how your body and your brain respond to pain. And so I have, in my program, I teach the science behind how this works, what doesn't work, and the process of priming your nervous system for healing. And then I also provide my clients with a whole menu of techniques that they can try and use and see what works best for their nervous systems. But I think, 2 things come up. The first is that I see a huge empowerment shift, understanding the mind-body relationship, but also feeling how that mind-body relationship can work is empowering. It allows you to step out of the role of being a passive recipient of pain and step into the role of being an active participant in your own healing. And through these techniques, you're teaching your body and your mind how to communicate better, respond with less fear, and ultimately move toward a place of healing and relief. The second thing that comes up with people that I teach this to is they kind of want a path. Okay, so I've learned this, I understand this, I've practiced the techniques to see which ones feel best for me. What's my path? What am I supposed to do with this? And we can practice these things in a very formal way, right? There are very formal ways to practice this. We can also practice them in very informal ways. And so we talk about their specific lives, their schedule, their lifestyle, their responsibilities. How can we fit this in formally or informally so that you're making small shifts throughout their day? Because honestly, even just doing some of these techniques twice a day for a week, people can really start to notice that their body feels differently afterwards. People really start to feel the difference because by making small shifts like this, you're telling your nervous system that it's safe to dial down the sensitivity. So let me tell you about a client of mine, someone who really felt like her body, her pain, her sensitivity was controlling her life. She couldn't even sit at her desk for more than 15 minutes without her back tensing up. Her world was getting smaller. She was avoiding anything that could trigger pain. But we worked together to come up with some strategic times in her day to insert certain tools. And she learned how to calm down her nervous system. She started with very small steps because if we make big changes all at once, they're really hard to stick with. But when we start with small steps over time, we can make big changes. So she learned how to calm her nervous system. She was able to sit through meetings again and even get back to some hobbies like gardening. And this isn't just anecdotal. There are countless studies showing the impact of these methods on body sensitivity. For example, research on deep breathing techniques shows a significant reduction in stress hormones like cortisol, which contributes to reducing physical sensitivity and pain. I hope today's strategies give you some new insights into how to control your own body sensitivity and how much control you can actually have over your nervous system. Because remember, recalibrating your nervous system, we're not even just talking about reducing pain, sensitivity, and flare-ups. We're talking about giving you control over how your nervous system responds to pain and stress, and that is everything. So if you are ready to dive deeper and you really want to reclaim some control over your body, be sure to book a strategy call with me. I'm really here to guide you through this process, and I can't wait to help you find relief and regain your confidence. So if you are ready to take that next step, I invite you to book a call with me. During our call, we'll dive into your current pain management strategies and identify the key areas where you can make impactful changes. We are optimizing what's the work that you're already doing to manage your pain. And making it work better for you in your unique life. We can talk about how my program can leverage your strengths and skills so you can break free from that cycle of temporary fixes and empower you to move forward with more self-led success. So drop me a message here in the comments of this video. You can comment book in the comments of this video, or you can click my calendar link, which I have put in the comments. Alternatively, if you'd like to discuss further before booking, feel free to send me a DM. I'll ask you some questions and we can sort through what's going on. I'm genuinely here to help. I see a couple of questions, related to just the logistics of these presentations, which I will respond to, but I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to log off for today, but I'm really appreciative for those of you watching. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, I'm genuinely here to support you. I'll talk to you all soon.